Good afternoon, folks, and thank you for joining us for another Flycast Partners presentation. My name is Rich Longo, and I'll be your host. And thank you for joining us for our webinar on IT Asset Manager, presented by none other than our very own Bobby McCullough. Now, Bobby has over 2 decades selling, implementing, and supporting a variety of solutions, including IT service, operations, and financial management, including budgeting, forecasting, allocating, rebill, accounts receivable, utilization management, IT asset management, infrastructure management, change management, incident management, expense management, and integration and IT operations analytics. He has configured demonstration systems using JSON file ingestion through application API and Python, and has added value in multi-product engagements, providing overall solution views and clarity. Before we get started, Bobby, let me introduce Flycast Partners. Flycast Partners is here to deliver a seriously amazing IT experience founded and staffed by personnel that have many years of experience in the IT space. We took the best ideas from this collective experiences and added the best components necessary to grow and become a leading value-added reseller in the North American IT market. We offer best-in-class implementation services and training in ITSM, ITAM, ITOM, ESM, and workload automation spaces using ITIL best practice. Our professional services team can easily scale up or down to meet the needs, IT needs of any customer, regardless of your size, complexity, or budgetary restrictions. We offer implementation services both on-site and remote, as well as training to help reinforce your company's long-term IT success. Our ongoing remote administration support service offerings will also enable your organization to focus on those normal day-to-day operations, saving you both precious time and money. Feel free to call us at 844-FLYCAST, that's 844-359-2278, or visit our website at www.flycastpartners.com. We have IT experts to answer your questions live Monday through Friday during normal business hours. This is but one of our many weekly webinars here at Flycast Partners. I encourage you to poke around on our website and check out a topic that may interest you. Share that with your coworkers. Feel free to research our services, tool offerings, and training options. We also share various data sheets and white papers on our site that may be of use to you. If you have any question during today's presentation, go ahead and type those in the Q&A section of this GoToWebinar platform, and I'll ask them on your behalf live during our webinar presentation. Now, as we transition here and let Bobby go ahead and take over the screen, I'm going to put a poll up there to kind of see what you guys are actually looking for in your new in your ITAM tool. Now, Bobby, I've just handed over controls to you. Can you grab the screen and take it?
I'm sorry, Rich, it still doesn't have me as a presenter.
Okay, let me go ahead and change that up for you. Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and make a modification. Bear with me here. Folks, while I'm doing this, we're going to go ahead and figure out why this isn't letting him excuse the technical thing here. Okay. You should be a presenter. Bear with me, folks. We'll figure out what's going on here. Okay. Are you able to do it now, Bobby? Is it allowing you now?
No. I can request to control your keyboard and mouse. I can share my webcam, but that's it.
It's not letting you do anything else. It should allow us to do this. Okay, that you can do. You can do that. All right, so, okay, let me go one other spot here and find out what's going on. Okay. All right, we're going to do one other thing for you, Bobby. I think this might work for us. Bear with us, folks. This is a new platform for us here at Flycast Partners, so it'll only give us a second here, and we'll get this up and running.
Rich, is it a good time for a joke?
Go for it. Go ahead. While I'm putting this in, it's a great time for a joke. Absolutely.
So 2 men walk into a bar. You think one of them would have seen it.
You would have seen it, yes. That's awesome. All right, let's get this here.
You needed a longer one, didn't you?
I did, but that's okay. I've almost got it here. So here we go. All right, so I've just updated it. So now you should be able to go ahead and take control now. You shouldn't have a problem. You should be a co-organizer.
Yeah, it's still not there, Rich. I just got something that updated me. I clicked on it, but it's still not an option. No.
That's weird. All right, bear with me here. That is very strange. Well, wow. Maybe you can go ahead and send me your deck real quick, and I can just click through it as you're going through the presentation. Let's try that. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Here's an option. Here we go. I found it. I got you. It just allowed me to do it. You've got it now. There we go. It updated. You've got control. All right. I see your screen now. Good deal.
Okay. Are you able to see my?
It looks great.
Are you able to see
Flycast for your
Presents?
patience. I can see Flycast Partners Presents. And folks, I want to thank you for your patience. This is a brand new platform for us. It's the very first time we're using it. So thank you for your patience.
All right, so guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about IT asset management from Ivanti. A little bit about Ivanti, established in 1985, owned by Clear Lake Capital, headquartered out in Salt Lake. Over 27,000 customers. That's a good number for you to know. Also, the fact that Ivanti Solutions are managing over 47 million endpoints. That's a lot of endpoints out there in the world. It's not just in the U.S. And something important here: 10 acquisitions since 2012, and that's something I know a little bit about. I've been through several acquisitions. Some of them I think they occurred. I didn't even know about them. And so there's a right way and a wrong way to do those. And Ivanti's really done it the right way. They started from Landesk and merged in these other solutions along the way that brought them things like patch management, mobile management, extraction. We're going to see a little bit of that today. The Heat software, where service management grew into the asset management solution. And so it's been a journey bringing those solutions together, but Ivanti's done a good job of that. They've all been strategic choices to bring technologies together so that Ivanti can present this unified IT approach. And that's really one of the big advantages with Ivanti. We've got coverage in each of these pillars, each of these areas: security, endpoint management, asset management, service management, and identity. And so, you're able to pick and choose which pillar is necessary for you. And these are very flexible. They can be cloud or on-prem or a mix. And we can integrate and automate across these stacks, and then wrap this with our analytic tool so that you're able to get unique insights. And we'll show you a little bit about extraction here in a bit. But this is really Ivanti's unique advantage out in the marketplace. So what is ITAM? ITAM is IT asset management. So when I talk to customers about that, I get a lot of answers back, and a lot of times prospects think that it's just stock management. It's what do I have and where it's located. Is it deployed in the field, or is it in a stock location? But IT asset management really is more than that. It's a complete set of your business practices that allow you to manage your hardware and software technology so that you can get the most out of those IT investments. So it's really more than just stock management, although stock management is a part of it. So what's the current state right now of IT asset management? Well, we've got security threats. You've got software audits coming from an ever-changing, complex licensing environment that creates barriers for you to get and stay compliant. With compliance, you're dealing with regulatory and internal auditors. You've got asset loss either through theft or just can't find it, and disaster recovery. You've got life cycle refreshes for both hardware and software. So it's a complex, ever-changing, dynamic environment that you're having to deal with. And so there's some really hard questions that come about from organizations around asset management that really need concrete answers. The first, what do you have? What assets do you have? What are we using? What are we not using? What's in stock? That's a core question that has to be answered from anyone doing asset management. So where is it now? Okay, so yeah, we bought it, but where is it? Is it in the storage room in Chicago, or is it deployed in San Francisco? Where is it? And that applies to licenses as well. Who is it assigned to? So this is key. You need to know who's responsible for it, either from the deployed perspective of it's in Bobby's office in his cube, or it's in the storage location, and this is a responsible party for that storage location. So there's concrete answers that are needed for these type of questions. What's the current status? Is the contract on it up for renewal? Is the warranty about to expire? Where are we with the life cycle of that particular device? And what's its history? What's happened to that device since we've had it? Have we upgraded any licenses or anything on it? What's been going on? How is it performing? That's key to being able to rationalize your organization's use of a potential product or a product that they have. Is how is it performing? How is it being used? And is it doing what it's intended to for your organization? And finally, these are all sort of activities. How are we doing with getting our information and seeing what we need to know? But this is a big piece of it. What is it costing you? What does that particular item cost, either from a deployment perspective or from an ongoing management perspective? What are the costs associated with that? Without IT asset management, these are very, very difficult questions to answer with a concrete answer. Someone told me years ago, you can't expect what you can't inspect, and it's just like what it says here. You can't manage what you don't know. If you don't know about it, then how can you manage all of these aspects of it? And so the truth hurts really on where the state of IT asset management is. I'm not going to bore you with each of these, but the two I want you to really focus on are right here across the middle, where most organizations have multiple discovery tools, and some of those are double digits. At least half of organizations are in double digits. And then organizations are spending hours a week resolving data accuracy issues. 32% are spending more than 25 hours a week. That's half of an FTE on just resolving data accuracy issues. So these are some key problems that ITAM can help solve for organizations. So what is it solving? What is its benefit? Well, let's start with consistency. So you're going to get your complete view of your environment, and that complete view of everything in your environment end to end is consistent. That's going to be linked in with your discovery sources, your various discovery sources, and bring that information together for reconciliation and viewing. So anytime you need that access, anytime you need to access that data, it's going to be there. It's going to be complete. It's going to be consistent. It's also going to be accurate. You're bringing together multiple sources of data, applying standardized processes to normalizing that data. So it's going to be accurate, allowing you to be confident and not need to double check the work like organizations are having to do now without an ITAM solution. And then finally, that makes you efficient. Having that visibility and the confidence in that data allows you to be efficient about your work. And so what does that mean to the bottom line? The one to focus on here is that when you use ITAM to support and manage your vendors and contracts, not just the stock management side of it, but the financial side of it, you're able to cut costs as much as 25 to 50% on your assets. So that's a key point to remember for the ROI on this solution. This is something that can pay for itself very quickly when you bring these processes in and apply them to your organization. Real quick, a couple of customer quotes on where they've saved money. Now, these are both specifically dealing with software management, software asset management, SAM, and there's really lots of money to be saved there. Organizations are over purchasing software so that they can stay compliant. If they're not over purchasing, they're just waiting to be caught. My wife's company, who shall remain nameless, was recently discovered that they were out of compliance with Microsoft, and it hit them to the tune of basically dropping their Office 365 system because they just couldn't handle it, and having to go to Google. So it's a large organization moving to a completely new solution because they didn't properly track what they were doing with their licensing. That's key and a great way for cost avoidance if you can do that. So the International Association of IT Asset Managers has identified 12 key process areas for asset management. Ivanti Asset Management is going to be able to help you in all of these areas. Now, you may look at these and say, yeah, but we've got something to help us in compliance. We've already got something to help us with policy management. The ITAM solution is completely integratable. There's a ton of connectors available out of the box, so that if one of these process areas needs to be handled in another system, you can easily integrate those two systems together and share data across the systems in real time, so that you're able to address all of these key process areas with your asset management solution. Within Ivanti Asset Management, there really are three primary components. Now, ITAM has been around as a discipline. It's been around for over 20 years. And within Ivanti, they really look at it and kind of break it down into three different components: of physical, financial, and contractual elements. And the solution brings those together in sort of a central data hub that allows you to view and report on the financial health of your asset base. So physical is your discovery, your inventory data, usage of what's deployed, your cloud or spare parts. This is what enables you to optimize your inventory. Optimize it from a perspective of having what you need in stock and only having what you need in stock. With a financial component, allows us to manage depreciation and book value, amortization, and really look at the cost benefit across the life cycle of any particular asset. And then contractual, this is where we look at vendor terms and conditions, software entitlements, training dates, service level agreements, warranties, all those type of things that are important for vendor relationship management. We get all of those within the contractual area, contractual component of the solution. And all of these, again, are consolidated into a central data hub that we're calling IT Asset Management. And again, software asset management, or SAM, and hardware asset management, or HAM, are both subsets of IT asset management. We'll talk a little bit about those. So within the portfolio, of IT asset management. We've got our asset manager, which is what we're going to focus on with the demonstration today. But that's sort of the overall solution element in the suite. In addition to that, we also have License Optimizer, and this is just an additional, deeper management of your software licenses. And I'm not going to demonstrate that today, but I do have some slides to kind of explain about how some of that works, because there's a lot of confusion out in the marketplace about how your organizations are able to optimize their license position. But this portfolio allows you to have complete coverage over your IT asset environment and manage both physical, virtual, and financial elements of your environment. So let's dive in a little deeper to each of these. Asset Manager. So this is the stock management and the financial management that happens with your asset. You've got the ability to track its life cycle. How it came in, how it was requested, where it was deployed, where it's been repaired. All the complete life cycle around that asset is available in the solution, as well as your financial and contract elements associated with that asset. So the service request comes in, and I'll show you a little bit of this when we get over to the demonstration. But a service request comes in. That request may require a purchase order to be created. The purchase order has an invoice associated with it and shipments associated with it. So you're able to track complete end-to-end from procurement to disposal, what's going on with any particular asset. I want to point out here too that we've got a lot out of the box available in the solution. So there's out of the box workflows where we've already got predefined approvals, notifications, and escalations already built in around the workflows for these particular requests. So we make it easy for you to get it up and running and getting value for your organization quickly upon deployment. So License Optimizer for servers. So this is, we've really got two flavors of License Optimizer. We've got it for servers, and we've also got it for desktops. And it's really the sort of behind the scenes, it's still the same. It allows us to have insight into what we've got, what's our license position on all our servers. And then it also is going to track your how you are using that software, which software pieces are being utilized and how often, which are not, and a license can possibly be recaptured. Now, I kind of skipped over this to come back to it at this point. Normalization and entitlement, that's when organizations are trying to look at their license position without a solution like License Optimizer. They're pouring through lots of data. And one of the first things they realize is it's hard to marry this data up. You've got different discovery tools that may tell you that the software package on my desktop, my desktop and my laptop is Windows 10 version. Another discovery tool may say that the OS on my desktop is actually Microsoft Win 10, and obviously computers have trouble with that. Those don't match. Well, we've got the ability in the solution to, and I'll show you a little bit about how that works here on the slides, about how we can normalize that data and understand that Microsoft Win 10 is the same thing as Windows 10, so that we're able to marry that together and see that data consistently and normalized through the interface. The other element is entitlement. So, you got one system that says Bobby's got this laptop, and you've got another system that says Bob has that laptop. And so sometimes it's difficult to normalize that entitlement data, and but we take the same approach to those assignments for those entitlements as we do for the software versions themselves. We help you normalize that data and understand that Bob and Bobby with this particular laptop is the same person. And then finally, modeling, having this information together, what you've got, normalizing it and assigning entitlement to it, and then how the software is being used. That allows you to model this and really generate reports and estimates of how you need to set up your environment going forward. The same thing is true for clients. Obviously, with the servers, it goes physical and virtual as well. And License Optimizer for clients does the exact same thing that it does for the servers. It's just a different level. Obviously, there's not a virtual element here in the clients. So how does this work? Well, we bring together all your sources of discovery and inventory. We've got standard connectors for more than what you see here, but you can see that we're Microsoft, IBM, BMC, HP, all of the standard industry-wide tools. We've got connectors out of the box. We've got an open API that allows us to bring in other connectors, but we're going to bring in those discovery services into our discovery services solution and for normalization. And then that way you've got good data to help you answer questions in any of these three areas, normalized and entitled, so that you've got the information that you need. So again, how does that normalization work? So this is where the system understands to a certain degree that these are the same, but it also makes it easy for you to help it learn when it finds discrepancies that it can't understand. You're able to say, okay, this is Microsoft Inc. and Microsoft are the same, and then it'll remember that, and when it sees those, it'll combine those, and then over time, unless there's new products come out, that's the only time that the normalization actually would be applied. Same thing happens from reconciliation. Active Directory may say this laptop is owned by Jason Mitchell. The scanner says it's Win Laptop J Mitch, and Workday says it's Jason.Mitchell. But we're going to reconcile that, normalize that data, so that we're able to understand that Jason Mitchell's laptop is this laptop, regardless of the source of that data. So I've got a few minutes now for demonstration. Rich, I wanted to just ask real quick if we had any questions at this point before I jump over.
Right now we do not have any questions, but while you're doing the crossover, I do want to launch our first poll. And our poll is now up on the screen, folks. You should be able to see that. What are the primary features you look for in an IT asset management tool? While Bobby is switching his screen over, I'll give you guys the opportunity to go ahead and answer that poll and giving Bobby a chance to get ready to do his presentation. And Bobby, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready when you are.
All right. Folks, go ahead and take a moment, just real quick moment to answer your poll, and then we'll go ahead and determine, based on the answers that you provide, what seems to be everybody's biggest interest in ITAM. So we'll give it another minute or so, and looks like we've got a lot of people responding. We'll give you guys a chance to finish up.
Great.
There we go. Wow. Well, I have to do this more often. These guys are all over it. Fantastic. Well, thank you for participating, folks. We're going to go ahead and get on with the presentation here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Bobby, and we'll close out our poll. There you go, Bobby.
Great. Are you able to see my screen?
I am. Your screen looks great. And just so you know, it looks like 73% of our audience, they think that software asset management is their number one reason for needing IT asset management. That's their primary feature, with tying that with hardware asset management, followed by lifecycle management. So those are the three top most important things that they want out of their ITAM tool.
Gotcha. It's good information. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we jump into the product here. The first thing I wanted to show you is our extraction, our big data analytic tool that comes with the solution. So if you purchase Asset Manager or License Optimizer, you're going to get a copy of extraction with 2 developer licenses. Now, this has got lots of data visualizations available out of the box. We don't just give you an empty system that then has to be configured and set up and a lot of stuff developed. That's not the way this is. This is available out of the box. And the extraction solution is really designed to bring together data from different sources. So there's lots of connectors to other systems. So if you don't have an analytic tool, this is a great way to get one and then bring in, your SCCM data, your ITAM data, ISM data, whatever you've got, you're able to bring it in and generate these unique data visualizations against it. Again, these are available out of the box, but you're able to configure these on your own, configure the way it looks for you. The 2 developer licenses will actually be able to develop and create these, where then you have some configuration options on your own. These are all available to be scheduled and distributed. So you've got the ability to export these out in a variety of formats and schedule their delivery by email. So you've got something that an executive needs, team leaders need, or something like that. You're able to set that up and send those out. Really, really helpful tool. And it's really nice because it gives you an analytic tool if you don't already have one. So this is Ivanti Asset Manager. And again, standard data visualization available out of the box. The Ivanti solution comes with standard roles already pre-configured out of the box, so it's very easy to link this in with your Active Directory system and get your users up and running and accessing what they need to see. Each of these roles has its own dashboard already pre-configured and assigned. You're able to access other dashboards, though, if you need them, and define which one is your home page or which one is your default, so that when you log in, you see the information that you need. Now, the idea here is Ivanti does a really good job of bringing to your attention what needs your attention, so everything's color-coded and able to understand here what's, my assets by type, my assets by location, where are they distributed, assets by financial owner. So sort of that Rubik's Cube view of your data, twist and turn it to see it from multiple perspectives. This is all navigable, so I can double click this and drill right into a listing of the records that make up that particular dashboard. So asset management, we talked early on about how governance and compliance is a big part of that. Well, that really starts with your product catalog. And this is where you're able to define what you're going to manage, what you're going to offer to your end user customers, and all the attributes that might be associated with those. Who's responsible for that particular product item? What's it cost us? What do we charge for it? The general information that might be related to any particular, in this case, Dell and Spirion box. Its color, its part number, its weight, those kind of things that might affect shipping. What's its replacement model? And then finally, reorder quantities and levels. So at what point do we want to reorder this, and how many do we want to reorder? So this is where we start with compliance and stock management. Speaking of stock management, what do we've got? This is what we've got deployed. I can see where it's located. If it's assigned to a user, that would be listed here as well. And then what do we have out there that could be deployed? So this shows me all the examples of this particular product, which storage locations they're at, and how many I've got, 4, 1, and 1 in different areas. Active orders, we understand that this catalog item is this item is something that's on order right now, and so I can actually use these links to jump over to that record to make it easy to navigate the system and get to the data that you need. So that's providing a catalog for your end users. You're going to store your hardware assets. And so here we'll go down and let's look at this MacBook Air. Yeah, this is a good one. So this is an example of a hardware asset or ham item in the system. And so you've got, what you're going to call it, what's your asset tag you're assigning to, the serial number, which is obviously comes from discovery on the item, but you've got all of these attributes that you can track. And these are just the attributes that are available out of the box. You've got control to change these, take away fields, add fields, relabel them, rename them, define what's required and what's not. So lots of control here. It doesn't take a developer to do that. It doesn't. It's easy for you to be trained to go in and make these type of changes. Now, within the hardware asset management, we've also got the discovery tab. These are all. This is defined as a business object, and then these are what we call business object relationships. So this is telling us that we have defined these values for this particular asset. But our discovery solution, in this case, Ivanti Endpoint Management, has told us that these are its attributes. Now I can see that I've got the right user, but it looks like he may actually be in a different office than where I've got this assigned. So we can use this to reconcile our system and make sure that we've got that correct, accurate data that we can be confident in. As I scroll down here, you can see additional information that's available about this asset. This is only limited by your discovery tools. If your discovery tool discovers some attribute about this asset, we can track it, we can store it here in the screen. Now, I mentioned a little bit about stock management. This is where we're able to look at our storage locations, our Chicago office inventory. So we have a location called our Chicago office, and within that office we have a storage location we're calling our Chicago office inventory. And here I can see everything that's in there. I've got 9 laptops, and I could double click any of these to pull that record up and see any details on that. So that sort of steps us through, what do you have? Asset requests. This is what we want. And so this is where we can actually tie this in with your service management system, and those service requests as a part of the workflow can move over to the asset team, and then they can come in and notice here I can edit the request. I see that my customer is in the East Coast office in Chicago. So when I go down to look for inventory, I'm only seeing inventory in that particular location. If that location had no inventory, this would be blank, and I would know that I need to make a purchase order from this request. So I've got the ability within the system from the asset requests to either assign them if they're available, or convert the request to a purchase order that I can then go and track through its life cycle, including line items with cost, bringing in our vendor scorecards to help us with vendor management, tracking my invoices and shipments around that as well. So Rich, we've got about 5 more minutes left. I wanted to stop here and see if we had any questions.
As of right now, we don't have any immediate questions at all. And while I'm waiting for folks to go ahead and provide us with your questions, I'm going to throw another little poll up there for you guys. Go ahead and take some time to answer that. Folks, if you have questions, by all means, let's take advantage of the fact that we have Bobby McCullough's undivided attention right now, and he'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Go to the questions section of this GoToWebinar. Go ahead and type in what your question is, and he'll be happy to answer that live. Also, take a moment to answer this poll real quick that we've put up there. Are you happy with your current IT asset management solution? Just tell us what you think. I know there are a variety of solutions out there today that most of you have, and be curious to see how many folks are actually happy with their existing solution. If you do have questions but just don't feel like asking them right now live, you're more than welcome to go to our website and chat with our IT experts Monday through Friday during normal business hours. They'll be happy to answer any questions that you have, or you can simply call us at 844-FLYCAST. That's 844-359-2278. We'll be happy to answer you there, or email us at info at flycastpartners.com. And as of right now, it doesn't look like we have any questions there, Bobby, but we have gotten a variety of answers on this poll. It looks like most of the audience has answered. It looks like 70% of our audience poll today are not happy with their current IT asset management solution. That is very telling.
Very much. Well, I think we can help them in those areas, Rich.
I think so too. Folks, I want to thank you for joining us for another Flycast Partners presentation, and appreciate your patience in the beginning as we're using this tool for the first time for our organization. And join us next Thursday for another live Flycast Partners webinar. Bobby, thank you so much for your time today.